Hey everybody, it's Zahirah from RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 6. Today I am going to be showing you guys how I beat this mug and my brand new face, essentially. You know, I love a CD sissy moment, Queen of the Darkness, Queen of the Night, but this is the 2K25 experience, Zahirah, period. My mug has definitely changed a huge amount since the show, and I'd love to show you guys what my face looks like now and how I do it, and with my favorite products. It's a lot draggier, it's a lot bigger. This is how I like to differentiate Mark to Zahirah. And I still love the CD sissy moment. I love the beauty makeup of it all. This is still beauty, but just like very, very drag for me. And I hope that you can learn a thing or two and implement, you know, one, two little whatever, like a little something that you want to like inject into your makeup. And if you learn one ting, two ting, three ting, then out of my techniques, then I would love that, innit? Do you know what I mean? All of these products is what I use pretty much every time I get into drag. So you're gonna find out what products I use, what techniques I like to use, and that's pretty much it. I hope they enjoy the rest of the video. Let's learn how to put this mug on, innit? Okay guys, so I have got all of my regular makeup. I literally got this out of my drag suitcase, and this holds all of the makeup that you always see on my face for the gigs. I tend to swap out products depending on if I just want to try something new, but for the most part, this is everything that Zahirah mugs with, period. So I'm excited for this video, to be honest, because I feel like my makeup has changed a lot. So let's get started. First things first, I'm gonna put in my contact lenses. These are from Pinky Paradise, I believe. I will link them down below, but these are very, very stark gray, bluey contact lenses. These are the same contact lenses, obviously like a brand new one from, I wore this for my Meet the Queens for season 6, and I loved it then and I love it now. Do you see how opaque that is? And my eyes are very dark brown. Again, sometimes I change it up, but these are most likely the ones that you're gonna see me wear. For toner, today I'm going to be using the Hyacinth No. 1 Hydro Toner from Nature Republic. Skincare is so important, you guys. Like, you need that hydration. You need to do this step so that your makeup will look nice. For serum, I'm going to be using the Skin Proud Pods. As I said, you know, with skincare, this is so important. It literally comes in like a pod like this. It's so cute. One pod covers the whole face, which is fab. I'm gonna be using the Embryolisse, the Creme Concentrate for my moisturizer, and my face needs to look super glowy, like you can ice skate in it, before I put on the drag. That's very, very important because, I don't know, I just like a super filtered makeup. And I already have the Laneige sleeping mask on my lips. Now get yourself a baby wipe and wipe your eyebrows so that there's no skincare on that. And I'm also going to use alcohol and wipe my eyebrows down. Actual first step, I'm gonna go in with my Alma's washable glue stick and do my first layer of glue. I've got very, very thick Asian coarse haired eyebrows, so I like to go against the grain, smush it in there. This first one doesn't need to be perfect. I'm getting an edge brush and then I'm using the prongs to push up the hairs and flatten it onto my face. you want to be quite vigorous with this and really flatten them down. But this is literally just the first layer, so it doesn't need to be super covered at this point. And then I use the back end just to flatten that even more. If you feel like your eyebrows are not pushing down, it's probably because you've got skincare on that. And then I'm going to be using the Wee Cherie from the Beauty Crop. This is the gripping primer. And I'm going to be jumping in between all of the layers of glue that I'm doing, because I can't just be waiting for this to dry and not doing anything else. Like, I need to get to the gig, you know what I mean? Use about 3 pumps of that. And I love a gripping primer because it just makes your makeup last so much longer in drag. And I'm gonna cover up my sideburns with the glue stick as well. After that, I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty color corrector, and this is in the shade Papaya. This is from the Faux Filter line. And they do different shades, so if you need something lighter, then maybe go for that. But this is a proper terracotta orange. And I'm just tapping that into the skin. Like this. I'm not like swirling around, none of that. I'm just literally just tapping that in to blend it. Between sort of each step, just know that I am covering my eyebrows with more glue. For powder, I'm gonna be using my Huda Beauty in Pound Cake. I'm gonna be using my Trigwell Powder Puff just to set the color corrector into place. This Huda Beauty powder is the best powder ever. It's literally the best. Like, you cannot tell me otherwise. I do try other powders now and then, but this is the one. Like, this is the ticket. Like, this, honestly, love, love, love. Another Huda Beauty product. This is the, what is this? The Faux Filter Skin Finish Stick Foundation. This is in Latte. As you can see, very dirty. Very well loved and used. I am just applying that onto the lower half of my face where I have applied the color corrector, and that is what I'm using this foundation for. That's it. For foundation, I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and this is in the shade Barcelona. I go in between Barcelona and Aruba, and I love, love, love this foundation. Like, it's my favorite foundation. 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Again, I'm literally just going to be tapping that onto my face and blending the 2 stick foundations in. And with the foundation, don't blend so much underneath the eye. Don't try to apply too much under there, because I want my concealer to be super bright. That's why I kind of leave the under eye area a little bit. I've done my last layer of glue, so I'm then going to just press and really, really hard press into the sideburns and onto the eyebrows as well. And I just need you to watch the technique. It's, you know, you can do whatever step in whatever order you like, but it's the techniques that I want to show you, you know what I mean? And sort of the products, and the products as well. I'm gonna go back in with my Huda Beauty stick foundation, and this is what I'm gonna cover the glued parts. And again, tap that in. Do not be moving your brush around like crazy. Why? Because then you will be bothering the glue stick underneath. And you do not want that. You'll literally be ruining all of the hard work that you've just done. Okay, now that we look literally like an egg, let's go in with my contour, which is the Primark foundation and contour stick in Chai, as in Chai Tea Grande. And I'm literally just doing the forehead, the cheekbones, like this, underneath the nose a little bit, side of the nose, and then on the jawline, I don't go underneath, I go above it. Why? Because it shortens my face and it also softens my man jawline. And then I draw a V on the chin, and I draw a contour line underneath the lip, and that brings my bottom lip out like this. It makes it look like it's drooping, like it's massive. And again, just tapping all of that in. This is warming up my face. Because I am Asian, my contour tends to lean warmer, and I like it to lean warmer because then I will just look a little bit grey if I go for something too cool toned. And I've got warm skin. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using the Kimchi Chic Beauty The Most concealer in white. I like to go in with this concealer. Go right into the inner corner and draw like a triangle out. Okay, so where I've applied the concealer is underneath the eyes, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the upper lip, the chin, and right underneath the contour lines. And then I'm going to be using my ISO Clean sponge. Spray that a little bit, very, very little. I don't like my sponge to be very wet. And let the concealer kind of sit there for a minute before you blend it out. And again, always just tapping motions. Don't move the product too much around. Try to keep it contained within where you have applied your product, because you don't want it to be all over the place. That makes a massive, massive difference to the finished product, I think. I basically like to keep the very center of my face super, super bright. That's why I use a white. You go through the edges like this. So keep the brightness on the center, but you want to blend the edges out. For this signature, I'm going to be using my P. Louise Cheek of It Fuchsia Feels. I'm going to do my signature pink blush. So I'm going to be applying it onto the back of the cheeks. Let's do the tip of the nose today. Sometimes I do the middle of the nose, but today I'm going to use the tip. And then I do a pink chin. Now, y'all, you could do whatever you want, but I want a pink chin, alright? I like it pink. Pink. Love pink. You know, some girls aren't into blush the way that maybe I'm into blush. But I love blush. Like, I love the color on my face. You know what I mean? I love, love, love to have color on my face. So we need this pink kind of all over. Like, I love that for me. I love it for me. Now, literally, it's time for the powder. It's time for the mother tucking powder, and you're gonna use a lot. You wanna beat the face. When I say a lot, I mean a lot, babes. You wanna go and beat that mug. Also, make sure to powder right here in between the nose. Like, a lot of people miss that out, and you don't want any part of your face wet, because then that is going to disrupt the amount of powder products that we're going to put on top. Now that we've done that, I'm literally just using a big brush with a tiny bit of the powder in the brush and just kind of blend all of that out. And then I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Bake Duo in Cherry Peach, which is a mix of cherry blossom and peach pie. And this is what I'm going to use to bake my under eye. Your best friend is the powder puff. So I'm literally just applying that underneath the eye. And I'm going to use a little bit of it as well, just to cut the cheek right here. And right here. So for the eyebrows and the eyeshadows, I have this 3-tier custom palette that has got, these are my neutrals, most of my neutrals. This is my color, and this is my blush and bronzer palette. So from here, I'm going to be using, this is from the Jordana T-shirt New Divinity palette. I'm going to be using this dark brown shade for my eyebrows. So again, even with the eyebrows, sometimes I like change it up. Little drag queen tip. Just lick your brush, which is probably not hygienic, but it makes your eyebrow brush super sharp. So I'm drawing in sort of the underline, like this. And I'm gonna draw the overline, the top of the brow. Then I'm gonna connect it to the tail. You know, sometimes my eyebrows aren't really even, but as long as they sort of look alike, and then at the front I'm gonna like kind of fade it. Hey, they're not even right now, so why not clean it up? I'm gonna be using the Fine Strokes brow pen in deep brown, and I'm using the one nib end and literally drawing in hair strokes. Where I haven't done the eyeshadow, I'm literally just drawing in little hairs to replicate hair strokes. Another P. Louise product that I actually like, I like the paints, but these are being discontinued, so I've stocked up. I'm using the Rewhite, and I am going to clean up the eyebrow and make them a little bit more even than they are now. Let's try. I'm going to use a white eyeshadow. You can use Sugar Pill Taco. And I'm going to be setting the eyebrow with the white. And I like this to be super, super white. So I pack that in. And then I'm going to be using a medium warm brown. I'm literally just going to do a neutral eye today, guys. I do love to inject color into my looks. But today, for the purposes of like my basic drag face, let's do a neutral eye. This is gonna serve as a transitional color for the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna be using my Made by Mitchell inked liner and Black Milk, I think this is, and right, I'm gonna be very quiet and draw in my crease. Okay, so that's the inner crease. And then I don't kind of go down and up, I kind of go straight. So I like to look straight ahead and draw this shape. It doesn't have to be perfect because we will clean it up. And then from the outer corner of the eye, I'm drawing up. And then connect that back. Yeah, I don't like to draw up. Do you know how like a lot of people like draw vertically up? Mine's more like out. Out. Diagonally out. I'm gonna use the black shade and literally just smudge out and set where that liner was. You don't want to blend the black up. You literally just want to kind of smudge where you've applied it. I'm going to use a bunch of different browns. So I'm going to use this dark brown and again the medium brown transitional color and this warm brown here, just to blend. Use a lot of colors to blend, you guys. First, darkest brown closest to the liner. Medium warm brown, a little bit more above it. And then using a bigger blending brush, I'm going to be using the lightest transition color, the one that we used at the beginning, just to warm that up and blend. And then I'm going to use the dark brown again with a pencil brush and stamp that onto the outer lid. Use the medium warm brown to kind of blend it to the center. And then reapply the black. Because why do we want to reapply the black? Because that would have been toned down by all of the brown that we've been putting down. Now I'm going to cut the crease with the Re-White. So you want to use a flat concealer brush and just go to town. Make sure to be very precise with this. Any sort of mistake, any sort of unevenness, you can literally just fix it with this. Blend out the edge of that a little bit. Use the white eyeshadow and pack that in. You can then go ahead here and change the color up. You can use a shimmer, you can use a gold, a champagne, whatever you want, and just apply that into the cut creasy part. The blend between the brown and the white, you want to go in between that with your warm brown color. For my liner, I'm going to be using the Black Milk from Made by Mitchell. Fierce, kind of fierce. That's kind of fierce. Had to jump off of camera to do my inner corner wing. But then I'm just gonna go in with the same browns that I used before from the new Divinity palette and apply that into the sort of under eye area. Start off with the medium brown, and then you want to use your dark brown and apply this closest to the lash line, but use different tones of the same color, different depths and different lights. So if you're going to use a pink, use a hot pink and then a baby pink and then a darker pink to like blend it all together for depth and highlights. Just bear that in mind when you're doing your looks. A tiny teeny weensy brush, go right onto the lash line to just apply that very, very close. For black eyeliner, I'm going to be using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Black Bean. I'm feeling saucy, so what I'm going to do is go back in with my liquid eyeliner and draw a line right underneath the wing and then right into the inner corner as well. Now that we've got that, use a white liner. This is the 17 white eyeliner and go right in between the wings. I've just applied my mascara, waiting for my lashes to get sticky. I'm gonna put on some rhinestones. You can get these from Amazon. Get some eyelash glue on the back of your brush, and then to apply that, you can use a lip liner, the back end of a lip liner, and to pick up your rhinestones. And there you go. It's as easy as that. Big lash, big lash, you guys, big lash. These are 3 lashes stacked on top of one another. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm going to be using MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deepest, and just apply that everywhere where we cream contoured. This is not the contour, this is to warm up the face. And because it's a mineralized baked sort of product, not that it's gonna look like skin, but a little bit more like skin compared to like a normal bronzing powder. I got this from the set of Drag Race. I'm gonna be using my L'Oreal True Match powder foundation in 11N. This is super dark, and this is gonna be my contour. You see the difference between that and that? This side is just fiercer. You wanna use a smaller brush for this? Just something a little bit more compact, because for the bronzer brush we use like a bigger brush, you know what I mean? Very lightly contour the nose. I don't really do too much on the nose, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, people draw crazy stuff, but I kind of just add a little bit of color there onto the sides. For blush, I'm gonna go into this palette and use those hot pink shades, these baby pink shades up top, this shade. These are a bunch of P. Louise. I am kind of using a lot of P. Louise, huh? These are a bunch of like Made by Mitchell and some P. Louise blushes as well. And as well as that, I'm gonna be using the Cheek Clapper from One Size Beauty, and I'm gonna use this shade. And yeah, basically, I like a lot of blush in it. I like a lot of blush. Like, I put on all the blushes. So, first off, hot pink. Hot pink at the back of the cheeks. At the back of the cheeks, and then whatever's left, apply that onto the chin and the nose. The tip of the nose. Hot. And then a bunch of baby pink blushes. Apply that to the center of the cheek. And then cheek clapper. We're gonna go back in with the powder puff. This is the old formula of the MAC Studio Fix Finish Powder Foundation. This is an NC10. And I'm literally... yeah, this is a light powder, very light powder. And I'm gonna apply that to sort of the side of the nose and underneath the eye. And we're gonna super highlight that very center. And right here as well on the forehead a little bit. On the chin a little bit. And unlike the bake, you just kind of want to blend that pretty much straight away. You pack it in and blend out them edges. Guys, I put on a lot of makeup, innit? Right, Fenry Beauty. I love Fenry Beauty. I love it. This is how many carats. And literally just finger it. You want to finger that cheek in. You see that glitter? You see that glitter? You see, at some point in the makeup, you just try to, like, you just see the vision and you, like, feel yourself in it. At the tip of the nose a little bit, and right on the bridge. And I draw in beauty marks. Fierce, just fierce, just like so fierce, like it's actually insane. Like, oh, you're kidding me. Gonna set the face. This is Urban Decay All Nighter put into a little NYX spray bottle, but this is Urban Decay All Nighter. Use a fan to dry it down. So for lip liner, I'm gonna be using Bite Me by Morphe. And the way I like to do my lips is, I like to draw a V, and then drag it down. It's a pretty defined lip. And then you want to draw the outer corners. For my lipstick, I'm going to be using MAC Lipstick and Snob. With a little bit of Peach Stock by MAC. My favorite lip products are from MAC. I just love it. For an event, for a sit-down event, or just for a look, I do like to do gloss if I'm not like performing, if I'm not dancing around. If I'm doing a ballad, I'll wear a gloss. This is Milkshake for Me by Made by Mitchell. And then I'm gonna apply a MAC lip gloss over the top. Any clear gloss will do. So this is the makeup done. I am going to be putting on my drag, my wig, and then I'm gonna come back. And this is the final look, you guys. I have the drags on, I've got the jewelry on, and I had so much fun filming this YouTube video, you guys. I have not filmed a YouTube video in so long, but it's nice to go back to my roots, you know what I mean? And show you my brand new drag face, 2K25 Zahirah. You can follow me across all social media at Zahirah Zapanta. So until I see you guys on my next video, bye guys.